Sometimes learning new things isn't always what you need in order to be successful as a music producer and be able to create a business around what you love. A lot of times we have these limiting beliefs that we've created for ourselves or someone has created for us over time that's kept us from taking certain actions that help us grow as a person and help our business grow. Think about it. When you're a kid, you're fearless. You don't have any beliefs yet, right? No one has instilled these beliefs in you. You feel like you can do anything. You feel like there's no limits. You feel like anything is possible. As you grow up, more and more people will start telling you these beliefs that they have in themselves and they start projecting it onto you. And whether you believe it in the moment or not, sometimes we have these thoughts in the back of our mind and it just plays over and over in our subconscious so that we're like, I don't know where I heard these facts from, but this is the belief that I have about something. And sometimes these beliefs are really damaging to our careers. So I want to talk about a few major limiting beliefs that a lot of music producers have. And a lot of these we have to overcome in order for us to actually create a successful business if that's what we want as far as our music production. One of the first and biggest factors is that the quality of music that you make is the biggest determining factor to generating income. Now, before you say anything, I'm not saying that it's not important to have good music. It's a given, right? We have to have some level, some standard of music that is at a professional level. But the thing is, the more that you dial in your 808s, the more that you get better with the piano, the more that you get better with mixing, those have a ceiling, right? So you can't just continuously get better at those skills and expect that your income is going to grow. You have to start focusing on different skill sets. Now, this is an old business model where you would just get really good at music, hope that someone would see you play live, pick you up, and, just blow up your music. And because they handle all the business side of things, most of those artists didn't have to deal with that. But if you want to be an independent artist in this day and age, just like a lot of people are doing, it becomes harder. You have to learn different skill sets. You have to become that business owner, and you start having to wear these multiple hats. And if you don't learn these skill sets, you're going to be at a disadvantage compared to everybody else that's out here learning it. Now, I'm not saying that it still doesn't happen where, some A&R or some manager sees some talent and picks them up. It still happens, but let me ask you this. Do you want to rely on that to happen for you to get the outcome that you want in your music? Do you want to gamble on that? Do you want to not learn the skill sets that will move you forward and instead just wait on that opportunity? While you're waiting on that opportunity, everybody else that's learning the business skill sets, the sales skill sets, the marketing skill sets is going to fly right past you. And then at one point or another, you might just be like, is this going to happen for me? And if it doesn't, then you're going to be stuck where you're at. You're going to be stuck in that 9 to 5 you hate. You're going to be working until you're 65, right? So you want to learn these skill sets in order to break through this barrier. So don't just focus on the quality of music, because the quality of music is only going to get you so far. Now, it does have to be at a standard, but the more and more that you work at it, it's not going to grow your income. You have to go out and you have to learn different skill sets. And a lot of those skill sets are business driven, because whether you like it or not, you are a business. So it's up to you to decide if you want to treat yourself as a business or not, but regardless, you are one. And I talk to a lot of producers who are being held back by this right now. They just continuously focus on their music, but they don't put any efforts into learning business skills, hoping that one day it's just going to pay off and it's just going to get better. But here's the thing, it just usually does not work that way. Think about this. If you were to build an amazing store, like the most beautiful store, most beautiful building you have ever seen in your life, but you put it right in the middle of the desert where no one comes through, no one knows that business is alive, it doesn't matter how beautiful that building is, no one's going to come shop at it. It's the same thing with your music, right? You can make the greatest music in the world, but if it sits on your hard drive and you don't know how to get it in front of the right people, there's no point. Unless you're purely looking to do it as a hobby, but that is a whole different story. So the second limiting belief I want to talk about is that everybody thinks sales is the devil, right? Everybody has this bad stigma about sales because of salespeople who they've dealt with in the past that were poor and they had bad intentions. There are certain salespeople who sell just for their own benefit and they don't sell for the client's benefit, your benefit. But this is the thing. Sales is something that you do for people, not to people. And if you get into this mindset, you will start working out of integrity. And what I mean by that is that you will be looking out for people's best interest. And when you look out for their best interest and they know that you care and you have a solution to their problem, they are going to be more than happy to give you the money that you want in exchange for your solution. But this is the funny part. Sales is something that every single person does, whether they know it or not. You have to sell yourself to get a job in an interview. You have to persuade your kids to eat healthy. You have to persuade your wife not to get mad at you if you were to go out with the boys on a Saturday night. Sales is everywhere, and you're constantly needing to persuade and convince people. But some people, a lot of people, do it unconsciously. So you can either be conscious of it and get better at your sales skills, or you can do it unconsciously and continuously resist it and just be bad at it. Either way, you're going to be selling no matter what. Right? So you can decide whether you want to be good at it, or you can decide whether you want to stay bad at it and continue to hate it. And again, we think of slimy like snake oil salesmen because we deal with a lot of them, right? A lot of people don't even like being in sales, but sales is such a huge skill set that every company needs. So people get into sales roles that don't even like sales, so they don't know how to do it properly. They don't put the right efforts into it, and so they have the wrong intentions. Like if you go to a car dealership and they don't care about anything you say, they don't listen to you, they're just trying to sell you on the highest package. I mean, that's why. Those salespeople probably don't even want to be salespeople. They're just doing it for a paycheck, and that's all they can think of, so that's all they care about. And since they have bad intentions, they project that feeling onto you, and now you forever hate sales. And it's not because of the salesperson, right? It's because of your insecurity to be able to dictate who is genuine and who isn't genuine. So people that hate sales, they are insecure about their inability to be able to detect who isn't genuine and who is genuine. That's all it is. Because if you learn how to sell in a way where you care about your prospect and your client, you will be listening to exactly what their needs are. You will only pitch them if you know that you can help them and you have a solution for them. Because if you forever resist and hate sales, guess what? You're a business, right? And your business is going to be really hard to sustain if you hate sales. First of all, products are created, every single product is created to be a solution to a problem. That's the best way to sell anything, if you can provide a solution to a problem. So if you think about it in that way, every product that's being sold is to help someone in one way or another. And some of these problems you're going to have yourself and you need a solution to. But if you resist sales, you're never going to be able to get that solution, and you're going to be the one that's stuck with the problem. And so guess what? Those bad salesmen, not only did they screw you up, but they also ruined your mentality towards sales so that you're forever resisting it and you hate it. And guess what? They just got you twice because they screwed you over and they screwed every other sales opportunity for you. If you don't want that to happen, you need to switch your mindset around how sales actually works. For example, something that I recently invested in is getting a sales agency to help place salespeople for me. Now, if I was a person that hated being sold, didn't want to listen to anybody that has anything to offer me, then I would have passed that up. And guess what? What would I do? I would be hiring salespeople by myself without the experience of knowing how. I would hire the wrong people. They would get on sales calls for me. They would drop the sales and I would be losing tons of money. Whereas if I just hired an agency who knew exactly what they were doing, they placed the people who knew what they were doing in my business, therefore I'm not wasting all these opportunities and losing all this money. We just skip that step so that we put people in place that know what they're doing and we can actually generate revenue right away. Instead of seeing it as being sold, spending $20,000, well, now I'm saving like hundreds of thousands of dollars that I could be losing if I was just trying myself to go out and hire salespeople that don't know what they're doing, because I don't know what I'm doing as a sales manager. The biggest takeaway from this is, like, as long as you continue to resist sales and you hate sales and you have this bad stigma about sales, you're going to struggle in your business, and you are a business. So regardless if you want it or not, you're going to be doing sales. So you can either be conscious of it, get good at it, do it unconsciously, and continue resisting it and be bad at it. It's up to you. The third limiting belief is thinking that the safest route is the best route for you. Here's a big one that I struggled with too. I figured for like over 10 years, I have YouTube. I have all the knowledge that I need, right? Why would I pay somebody to teach me something that I already have access to on YouTube? This was a huge one for me. Therefore, I struggled for like 10 years trying to create a career out of my music, right? Because I was stubborn. I figured I just had the information. I could just roll with that. Why would I need anybody? Well, guess what? Maybe I saved like a couple bucks here and there, but ultimately what happened was I spent 10 years trying to grow my business, just get it off the ground, instead of just hiring someone who could put my business in place exactly how I needed, and I could be growing it with that 10 years. So that's 10 years I could have spent growing my business, getting it further up, instead of just spending time trying, failing, just to get it off the ground. So obviously I felt stupid because at the end of that 10 years, I was like, I need to figure this out. I need to reach out for help or I'm going to be like forever. This is going to be a hobby. So I hired a coach and I quit my job in like 5 months. So obviously at the end of that, I felt stupid because I could have just hired a coach from the beginning who knew what they were doing. And that 10 years I could have spent growing my business way past what it is now. But instead, I spent 10 years trying to get it off the ground, and now I have a late start. And that's something to this day that I cannot get back or fix because time is something that just goes, right? Whereas we're all trying to pinch our last penny because we don't make enough money. Well, that's the best time to be investing in yourself because you don't have that much to lose. Like if you have no money, and you hit ground zero, your fall is like this high. Right? The people that should be worried are the people that are making millions of dollars or are already at the top, because if they lost everything, that's a much steeper fall. If you have nothing to lose, you might as well go all in now, because there's a lot of tough decisions that you can make that feel risky, but those are the decisions that most people aren't willing to make. And the ones that are willing to make it are the ones that succeed. That's why there's 1% of people succeed and the other 99% are stuck exactly where they're at. So just ask yourself, am I doing what everyone else is doing? I'm saving my money because I have YouTube. I can learn everything off of there. Why would I hire anybody to help me? I could learn all these skill sets. Well, think about this. That's exactly the way the other 99% are thinking. And guess why they're still in the same spot that they are today? So if you're taking the same action as everyone else, just expect to get the same results as everybody else. And if that result is not something that you want, then you need to go against the grain and you need to do the things that are different, the things that people aren't willing to do, but will move the needle. So in my case, it was learning off YouTube. That's what everybody does, right? Whereas only 1% of people even hire coaches. A lot of times we don't see the value in coaching because we learn from other producers. And guess what? A lot of producers aren't even the best business people. I have a hard time learning from other producers unless I know that they're business minded and business driven, because that's a huge factor, right? 20% of it has to do with your music. The other 80% of your success and your income that's generated from music comes from business skills. So that's why a lot of times I study people outside of the music industry, because a lot of times producers are just not the best at business. I encourage somebody out there, if you're in a position where you're stuck at a 9 to 5, you're learning off of YouTube, you're not really investing in yourself, you're not really taking the steps that other people aren't willing to take a look at your position. Are you where you want to be? Does it look similar to everyone else's position where they're wanting hopes and dreams, but they're not really achieving what they want? I encourage you to look outside the box and start doing the things that people aren't willing to do. I'm not saying make bad decisions, but make sure it's a smart decision, but at the same time, if it feels risky, it's probably because it brings a great return. That's the same with anything. Stock market, crypto, real estate, it doesn't matter, right? But the best thing that you can invest in is yourself and bettering your skill sets. Because if you learn higher income skills, you can start stacking these on top of each other, and it's not linear growth, right? You don't just learn sales and marketing and then business operations and it just grows steadily like this. No, the more skill sets that you learn, it starts growing exponentially, because those skills stacked on top of each other are what makes a high income business. So I hope this was helpful. If you guys need more help with music production, you need help with the business side of things, I'm going to leave a link down below to a free training that I have. It talks about producing beats that attract artists and turning them into high ticket clients. And it talks about the business system that helps automate your lead flow and get more clients. So if that's something you're interested in, I'll leave it in the description down below. And if you found this helpful, please share it with somebody and subscribe to this channel if you're looking to grow your music and your business. I think this would really be beneficial to you. Other than that, I will see you guys in the next video.